I mean, just like a lot of specific training. You know, first of all, a lot of different guys I'm working with now. A lot of different sparring partners that he's bringing in. A lot of southpaws. A lot of people that do certain things that Luke does. Working a lot with guys that fence work. Guillotine defense. Things that I felt might have been an issue in the last fight. I'm just trying to get better with.
Sure. Now, California, there are new weight cutting rules that are in effect for this one. What changes for you here?
Honestly, I don't know them. But either way, I got to do what I got to do. I don't know.
Sure.
I don't know them. I actually was just talking to Leo Machida about them. I don't know. Is that in effect for my fight?
It is in effect for your fight.
Okay. Yeah. So I guess I got to figure it out. Is it 2 weigh-ins or something?
It's I think it's 2 weigh-ins, and they monitor your hydration levels. And I wish I had better kind of studied up on this.
That's right. I probably should know better than you anyway, so I don't feel bad. So it's all good. Yeah. So I don't know the rules, but either way, I got to comply with whatever they say.
Sure.
Before the first fight, you and Luke both talked about the amount of respect you had for each other. You even like each other. It seems like as this one comes around, there's a lot more hostility. Even this morning on SportsCenter, you saw that. Is there more hostility, especially going into this one?
Yeah, there's definitely more hostility. I mean, he beat me. He took my belt away from me, so it's personal. He's grabbing my management. My management went over to AKA and we're helping out with a couple guys, and he's talking trash to them, about me. He's just harassing them. So he's walking around like he's a big man on campus, and so all that stuff adds up, and then I got to go out there and kind of humble him. So.
What's camp been like?
Camp's been way different. I was very comfortable with everything I was doing before. I didn't lose for a long time. Obviously, I was undefeated since I got into the sport. And you kind of get stuck in a rhythm of doing certain things and not changing it, even if you felt like you probably should. So when you lose, you have adversity and you have an opportunity to grow from it. I'm just trying to grow as much as I can. I'm learning from it. My last camp I did a 6-week camp. This time I'm doing 12. I'm being way more specific with my training. Like I said before, I wasn't very specific. I do jiu-jitsu and train as hard as I can with jiu-jitsu. I do wrestling. I train as hard as I could with that, and kickboxing and so on. But now I'm doing, stuff with the guillotines for jiu-jitsu, and then wrestling with stuff that we know that Luke, has trouble with. So, and then the same thing with the stand-up stuff. So everything is very specific to Luke.
Are those changes, you mentioned in another interview that you were doing things to step out of your comfort zone. Are those the specific things that you're doing that are taking you out of your comfort zone?
Yeah, and I'm going to different gyms. I'm training with different guys. I was, champ for a while. I was undefeated for a while, and you always have this bullseye on your back. Everybody, no matter where you go, they want to see how they're going to deal with you. And so I always kind of stayed away from that. I always would kind of stay in my gym and have the certain people that I was comfortable with, train with, and I didn't have to worry about that, which kind of stops you from growing the way you really should. To grow, you need to make yourself uncomfortable. And so I'm putting myself in a lot of uncomfortable situations, and I'm trying to become comfortable with that.
Since this is a rematch, do you feel there's more pressure on you or your opponent?
I don't really know, man. I put a lot of pressure on myself, and I take it out on my training every day. So all the pressure goes right to me working as hard as I can.
You're doing more specific training. You've changed your approach. Sounds like you've changed your mental approach in addition to your physical approach in the gym. In a way, was a loss good for you? Did it force you to keep evolving as a fighter?
I think the loss was good for me. I think it was a blessing in disguise. I'm already getting so much better with everything. I'm seeing things in me that I haven't seen before, where I thought I might have had things all figured out. Now I'm finding out I didn't have it all figured out, and it's very frustrating when I thought I was the best in the world, and I thought I had it figured out, and now there's so many things I got to get better at that Mark specifically keeps calling out with every day of me hitting pads or me sparring. He's taking clips of the sparring, sending it to me, and like, no, we got to do this better. We have to work on this tomorrow. And so it's frustrating to have to change so many things and realize I have so many things I need to get better at. But that's the only way to grow. So mentally, it's been more draining for me than anything because I'm thinking more and more critical of myself than ever before. I used to just go into training and just want to win. I used to go into sparring, I want to win every round, then go into jiu-jitsu and submit everybody. But now it's very much working on the things that I feel like are going to happen in the fight.
Some guys never figure that out. They do the same thing. I mean, they stick with the same training camp, same people. Was it humbling in a way? I mean, is that a word that would be the right way to describe it? Because some guys never get to where you got after just one loss.
I think it's just I was getting comfortable, and now it's put me in this state where it allowed me to be free to put myself in these uncomfortable situations. I'm not stuck in that if it's not broken, don't fix it mentality anymore. So now I'm able to do all the things that I think are going to be able to help me out in my career and make me a better fighter, and the fighter that I think I can be. I could do it all now. So that's what I'm focused on.
It sounds like you're going to be a much different fighter with the introspection that you're talking about.
I mean, if you look at this last fight, I was doing okay. Like, there's not too many things you would have to change to win this fight. If you broke it down, I thought I was winning the fight until the spinning back kick. But this loss has allowed me to change a lot of things and just create a different beast. I'm taking it very seriously. I'm not trying to change a minimal amount. I'm trying to just grow as much as I can.
Like you said, it came down to what people would say was one mistake that changed the game. Do you think that warrants too much change to your game?
There was a lot of things I thought. I thought I was winning the fight. I thought he started kind of actually folding, but right before he was at his weakest point when I threw that spinning back kick. If you go back and watch, he was grimacing from the body kicks. He was backing up. He wasn't looking too good. And then I threw that spinning back kick, and he capitalized. But there was a lot of things going on in there that I didn't like the way I reacted. The way I reacted to certain things. My cardio wasn't where it should be. I wasn't able to train properly for that fight. So there's a lot of things that fight kind of woke me up to.
You mentioned ago that your prior training techniques could be a little mentally draining. What are you doing now to kind of combat that and keep yourself engaged?
No. My techniques that I'm working on every day right now is mentally draining because I'm trying to correct a lot of habits that I have. So to change things is mentally draining because it takes a lot of thought and visualization at night. It's a lot of stuff I need to get better at. So it is draining.
What do you think about, Luke? Obviously, you guys are two guys in the prime of your careers, the best in the division. But has this rivalry changed your outlook on him as, a person?
When he's talking trash to my management, I mean, what is he doing that for? But then the biggest thing with him is he's bringing up my family, like it's a handicap. He says I have more distractions because I have a family. That's just immature and stupid of him to say. Some of the greatest leaders, some of the greatest athletes in the history of our planet have been married guys with a family. So for him to say that, it's just kind of stupid. I would think that there's more distractions when you're single, but I'm not bringing that up. It's to each his own. But he kind of makes himself kind of sound a little stupid when he starts talking like that, and that bothers me a little bit. My kids and my family motivate me more than anything to train hard every day. When I look at my kids and know that they depend on me to take care of them and to provide for them, it drives me even more. So just things like that kind of makes me think him as a person. It's a little weird.
Was this the reason for, some would say, your uncharacteristic attack at him at the press conference? Was that the reason?
Well, at that point, I just found out he was talking trash to my management. I'm going to kill him. He's why would you take this fight? I crushed him, saying all these things to my management, which is not the right thing to do. And then I see him. I walk inside, and he's just doing all of his interviews with his sunglasses on. He's walking around like he's the man. And I got emotional. He took what was mine, and now he's walking around like he's the man. And so it's hard for me to see. And that's pretty much what you saw.
Do you think that could distract you from the fight?
No, I'm not. I know you go in a fight emotional. That's a bad place to be. I'm pretty calm about the whole thing. I lost myself at the press conference a little bit, but at the end of the day, when I go in there, I'm gonna be nice and relaxed and just going out there and fighting. That's it.
You had a pretty memorable moment when you had that win and you told everybody join the team now. What's been the reaction, from the fans since the loss?
I feel like my fans have been very. They have been great to me. They've been very supportive throughout this time. when I lost. Everybody, I feel like I got more love actually from the loss than I've had from some of my W's. Because I was undefeated, I beat a lot of people's idols, and so I think that was hard for people to take. And now they see me lost, they see I'm a human, and I think maybe it's easier for people to jump on the bandwagon now.
Chris, what